In this episode of Solitude and Sailing, we continue working on the Ode Osprey, a Daysailer from 1965. We begin by removing everything that was inside and then sanding and prepping the bilge as well as the bucket seats for paint. Afterwards, we're going to sand the floorboards and get them ready to be freshly stained and sealed again. Let's bring this vintage sailboat back to life. This is after the first coat of stain. I did use a circular sander. I had started with a sanding block, but it was taking too much time, so I did switch over to a circular sander. Here's what she looked like after 3 coats of stain. While that's drying, it's time to move over to the other side of the yard and continue on with our paint job. So the paint was old, but seems to be working okay, 3-to-1. I'm using the barrier coat because this area right here is going to be the bilge. So I figured I'd use the barrier coat down there. So far it's coming out pretty good. And then I'll use topside total boat for the benches and for the deck. Thinking about color schemes. So we'll see. And then I got to do another coat in here, finish off the areas that we didn't touch yet. And then put the floorboards back in. I think with the floorboards in, it's gonna look so much better. It's already looking a lot better. I got way under there. Whew. That stuff is strong. Strong. But adding an extension to the roller helped. The other thing, my foam roller kept falling apart. So I ended up with little pieces of foam I gotta go pick out off the paint. It's a work in progress. Hot too. All right, let's go. Got another nice weather window. So today I'm gonna be painting the bench seats, and I'm gonna put down some primer using Total Boat primer, topside paint, and I'm gonna use some white for the sides. And I like this little ice blue here. This is gonna go on the top of the bench seats. It's the same blue that I used on my sunfish. It's like that sea foam color. I like that color. Here's what she looks like now. You know, we're trying to do boat projects, painting in late spring when everything just keeps falling off the trees. It's a little tricky. So anyway, let's get to it. Painter tape is down, and I use the 2x4 as a spacer so that I get my spacing even. By the way, don't tell my wife I used the cake mixer to blend my paint. All right. I'm gonna use a tip and roll method to put on this primer. I got a little foam roller. And it's beautiful. This is good primer. It's not really hot out, so I did not dilute it. You can dilute 10% with the Total Boat primer paint thinner that it comes with. Correction, I had to purchase it separately. Adding mineral spirits to the tip of the brush helps it to tip a little easier. Don't get too excited about the paint strokes, because that's just gonna blend in as the paint goes down. So what I'm doing right now is just trying to take out any little bubbles that might be there. It's gonna come Add some more. There we go. That's much better. Once you get it started, then the rest will flow much easier. This is primer, so I'm going to be putting primer on this whole area. All right, now let's tip it. Nice long strokes, one direction. And I'll let the paint do its work. I'll do the top side after. You get the idea. All right, primer's done. What do you think? It's coming out all right. I think if I would have done it again, I think I should have still thinned it out with that 10% total boat thinner, because this paint does dry pretty fast. And so thinning it out, last time I used it, when I thinned it out, I got better application. It's a little bit lighter, goes on thinner, and it gives you more working time. But all in all, I think it came out pretty good. It's just a primer. Next, top coat. It is another day, and we are out finishing the bench seats, so that way we can get this thing ready for my camping adventure this weekend. So I'll squeeze out 2 coats of topside using that little tiny white can I had left over. So I did the bench seats going around, and now what's left is the actual seat part, which is going to be the seafoam color. And then I think I'm also going to put the area in the center where the center board goes, paint the top half of that to match the top of the bunks. What do you think? Let's see how it comes out. I know they went in on the edges. It's not a perfect edge. That's deliberate, so that way there's full coverage when I add the next paint. It's interesting because we call it tip and roll, but it's actually roll then tip. I'm rolling on the paint. Goes on pretty nice, but it leaves little bubbles from the roller, which then I'll need to get my paintbrush to go and remove those bubbles, tipping it. As you can see, I'm doing this free-handed. There's no tape down, so I'm trying to get close to the edge. This topside paint does much better with the foam roller than the primer or the barrier coat paint. I rolled. And I have some mineral spirits also on the brush. It's kind of like an oil that keeps it smooth, helps it to tip easier, and it cuts the paint while you're going. So now those little bubbles are all disappearing. All right, can you see those little bubbles there? See that? We're gonna come with the brush and just erase all those bubbles. I don't want to go over the line, so I'm actually kind of going backwards. Best way really to do this is a stroke going the same direction, I think. But I don't want to go over my little line over here. A couple more bubbles down here. And then the little lines from the brush stroke, those are gonna just blend in. As the paint settles down, that just goes away. And with, you know, with the tip of the brush, but I'm not trying to add paint. I'm just trying to clear the bubbles. Then we'll come back around again and we'll do another coat. Sometimes you get a little greedy. That's when mistakes can be made. She's looking pretty. Come back around again and we'll straighten out all these edges with this second coat. Now this piece, I need to get some more paint on here, but just to give you an idea, look at that. That's a pretty color. Totally like this color. All right, all done painting, all done with the bench seats. The floorboards in, came out pretty good. We added a few coats of finish on there, so it kept the dark wood color. The centerboard area is done. So the next step from here, I have a ladder I'm gonna install later on, and then also installing that anchor roller. And I'm thinking about whether or not I want to keep the anchor on the bow. I probably will have it stowed and then just pull it out when I'm anchoring or when I'm taking the boat out. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the anchor on there all the time. We'll see. That was my initial thought. That way, if there's something, if it's a quick emergency, I need to drop anchor quick, boom. But this boat's really light. You can pretty much drop anchor from anywhere and she should stick. Anyway, tell me what you think. You like the color scheme? This O'Day Osprey, she's from 1965. She's one of O'Day's earliest day sailors. I think she's looking pretty good for her year. Thank you for watching another episode of Solitude and Sailing. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can keep up with adventures aboard Solitude, some dinghy sailing on this O'Day Daysailer, and then also sailing on my Pearson 26.